States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Board of Adjustments is a 9-member board, and we're appointed by the City Council, and we serve on a voluntary basis without any compensation. Our procedure for conducting business is I will call the petitioner's name. If you would please come to the podium, speak clearly into the mic so our recording secretary can take notes. Anyone that wishes to have any questions or in opposition to a particular item will be given the opportunity to come forward and voice your concerns and ask for any questions from the petitioner. Once we receive public testimony on that particular item, the members of the board will deliberate and we will render a decision tonight. I'll remind members with a personal or a financial interest in any particular item, you're required to recuse yourself from voting. Any testimony that is submitted by the petitioner or on behalf of the petitioner during the presentation of the agenda item will be binding as to any decision board makes relative to that motion. I'll remind the members of the board if a motion to deny on a particular item is made, a reason must be given. This time I'll introduce the members who are here tonight. Mr. Steve Hughes, Ms. Jennifer Shaw, Mr. Bart Prince, Mr. Pickett Reese, Mr. George Howell Jr., and I'm John Stanley, your chairman. We have 6 here tonight. It requires 5 votes to approve a motion. So if you feel as though there are not enough members here tonight to consider your particular request, you may delay your item until next month. The planning control staff that's here tonight is Mr. Tommy Tyson, Mr. James Center, and Ms. Paula Richardson, our recording secretary. Are there any questions? If you are here regarding item number 2, it has been withdrawn. It was to be presented by John and Sharon Dury, requesting a street side yard variance for an accessory structure in the required street side yard located at 2600 Chesterfield Court in an R65 zoning district. Ma'am, are you here for that item? Are you here to present it?
I'm here to protest.
Well, the petitioner's not here.
Oh, they're not here?
No, ma'am. It's been withdrawn.
Oh, it has?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry if I didn't make that clear. It's been withdrawn, and
What they decided,
ma'am,
They're going to get rid of the building.
sir?
They're going to get rid of the building.
Who am I?
No, ma'am. I said they're going to. Yes, ma'am.
okay, thank you. Any other questions before we get started? First item is presented by Michael Kelly, requesting a side yard variance, a separation between structures variance, and a coverage variance for 3 existing accessory structures located at 4024 Fonsdale Drive in an R75S zoning district. Mr. Kelly? We delayed this one from our last meeting, and Mr. Kelly, I believe we requested that you and your neighbors get together.
Yes, sir, we did.
And talk about it, see how y'all could resolve your differences. If not, then we'll resolve them for you.
Okay, we did meet, we did resolve, and we've come to a good conclusion, I believe, for both of us, and we're going to do some landscaping.
Okay, well, let's take it one at a time, okay? You've got 3 buildings there, okay? So let's talk about building A first.
Okay?
Okay, building A was the original garage. Or
Yes, sir.
a garage.
That was there when the house was bought.
Okay. And so that building's 640 square feet. So you've got a coverage issue here. You've got more buildings than the zoning allows, okay? And then you've got a separation issue, and then you've got another building that's within 3 feet and 4 inches of the property line, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if you would, just tell us, the board, what y'all have agreed to do, and then we'll decide if that's acceptable or not.
Contacted a landscaping gentleman, and he came out and talked with myself, and then with both myself and our neighbor, and he has come up with a few ideas on what we could put in the neighbor's yard to somewhat alleviate their concerns of all the structures.
Excuse me, Mr. Kelly, one question. Is your neighbor here tonight?
Yes.
All right, and you'll be prepared to address and confirm what y'all are talking about? Yeah, okay, go ahead. Sorry.
He came up with an initial initial plan, and discussed it with the neighbor, and they didn't like the idea of using rose bushes. They suggested some different type of greenery. We've since decided that we can come up with a conclusion of what we need to do. It's just a question of what items we would need to put up.
So what you're saying is you guys have agreed to resolve it based on landscaping?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And we would be, the wife and I would be giving them X amount of money to go toward that.
Okay. Anything else?
No, sir.
Okay. Anyone here in the audience care to address this item? If you don't mind, since you had expressed concern and opposition to it before we conclude, I'd like to hear it from you that you're okay with what he said.
Yes, sir. We've met several times with the Kellys to discuss the issue. They put forth several options for us to choose from. We discussed privacy fencing, we discussed the landscaping, and we came to the conclusion that landscaping would be the best way to go. We're just trying to finalize what we want to put in that would work best for us and in the space involved. But yes, we've come to a compromise with it that we're both happy with.
Okay. What about the issue of water? You've got a building that's very close to your property line. Are you comfortable with the water coming off of that building that is not adversely affecting your property?
Since
I'm asking him.
Yeah, I think that's still going to be an issue, just based on the structure and the size of it. We've had some heavy rainfalls, so it's coming off and it's going to go somewhere. Unfortunately, that kind of comes over in our yard. So
So you're okay with it?
I guess.
Okay. All right. Board members, any of you have any questions? Anyone else in the audience care to address this item? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Move that we grant this request as presented.
Second.
Have a motion to approve from Mr. Reeves. Do I have a second from Ms. Shaw? Any further questions or discussion? All in favor of the motion to grant these variances based upon the testimony of the petitioner on what you are willing to do? Right?
yes.
Paula, you got all that? Okay? Because that's important, okay? And you are on record of having agreed to do what you said you would do.
Yes, sir.
Okay? And if you don't, then your neighbor can come back, present it to us, and then we can deal with it. And I don't think you want us to have to deal with it. What you've done is the best thing to do.
Yes, sir.
Okay? That's what we want you to do. So everybody's happy or pleased. Okay, all in favor of the motion, please raise your hand. All opposed? All abstain? Okay. What is that? We got a full house? No, we got 8 here. So that was 7 in favor and 1 abstain, right? Okay. Thank y'all for working that out.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Hey, Ms. Brown.
Hey there.
We have Ms. Brown with us here now, and Mr. Nathan Williams here with us tonight. Glad y'all made it. All right. item number 2 has been withdrawn, so y'all can scratch that one off. Item number 3 is presented by Donnie Williamson. Hey, Donnie. Representing North Star Development USA / MHA, requesting an exception to Smart Code for a new monument sign to be located on the east side of North Union Street, approximately 410 feet north of Columbus Street in a T4R Smart Code zoning district.
Thank you, John. This is a little bit of a deja vu request. We came to you on phase 1 with a similar petition, and it's because of the Smart Code. There's no allowances in the Smart Code for a monument sign to designate the property. So what we're proposing here is another monument sign that was of the same size and scale as the board approved for the first phase for the second phase. And as was stated, it'll be off of the entrance that comes off the newly extended North Union Drive. That's the new boulevarded drive there. And I think you've got the information. It's a modestly scaled sign, and so it just marks the designated entry for that second phase development.
So the maximum height 6 feet 5.5 inches.
It won't, right.
Is that from the ground or from the base?
That's from the base is the way it's drawn. And there's typically about an 8 to 12 inch coverage over the foot.
Well, my question, let me make sure you understand. In other words, is it 6 feet 5 inches from the ground, or is it sitting on a 1 foot base and then it's 6.5 feet above that base?
Yes, from the ground, it'll be about 6 feet tall.
Okay, from the ground.
Yes.
Okay. Is it lit?
It will be lit.
Backlit or ground lit?
Ground.
Ground lit, both sides.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Looks like it's far enough back from the property line, it won't be a traffic obstruction.
No, it's on the, yeah, it's inside the property limits,
Right.
not in the right of way.
Okay. Underground power to it, of course. Okay.
Correct?
All right. Any question, board members? Anyone in the audience care to address this item? I'll entertain a motion.
So be it.
We have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Williams? Mr. Prince? Any further discussion, board members? All in favor, raise your hand. Okay.
All
You're
right,
good.
thank you guys very much.
Thank you. Item number 4, presented by Misty Oberman, representing Alabama Christian Academy, requesting a special exception for a private school to be located at 4633 Wears Ferry Road in an R20T zoning district.
Good afternoon. The purpose
You're
of
Ms. Overman?
Yes.
Okay.
The purpose of acquiring this property is to actually expand our current facility to include additional athletic fields, possible classroom expansion, as well as a possible chapel. You'll notice from the diagram that this property is directly across from our current campus, and therefore will be easily accessible for our families and for our kiddos.
Okay. Anything else? I have some questions for you.
Sure.
Have you met with the local, your adjacent property owners?
With the property owners
Residential property owners.
to the property that we want to acquire.
That would be to the east of you.
We have met with the property to the left of that, but because the properties to the right are the townhomes, we have not met with those.
Okay. Tell us about any exterior lighting.
No, sir, not at this time.
Okay. One thing I've noticed, two things actually regarding traffic. At the upper northeast corner of the property, there is a street that stubs into this property, or it stubs to it. And I would assume that you do not intend to access that street with your traffic.
Are you talking about the top right-hand corner of
Yes.
that property? No,
Yes.
sir, we do not.
Holla Wood Road. That street dead ends into the property.
Correct. No, sir, not at this time. We do not intend to access the property with that road.
Well, if we approve it, our approval will be you will not have the right to access that road, regardless of what the homeowners say.
Okay.
Because we do not want to see traffic from the athletic events dumping into that neighborhood. Okay? Do you have any plans for any privacy fencing around the perimeter of the property? Because a lot of it's wide open.
Not at this time.
Okay? It's not up to this board to determine or really try to get answers to access to this property. That's something you're going to have to deal with traffic engineering,
Correct.
because there are some issues that concern me personally that I'm very familiar with the property. You're asking for 2 curb cuts.
Yes.
You've got, right now, there's no decel and acceleration lanes for that property. And your curb cut on the west end of that property does not line up with your traffic light that comes in and out of your existing campus. So we're not going to deal with that.
Right,
But I'm
right.
bringing that to your attention.
Right. Yes, sir.
Because traffic engineer is going to have to deal with it.
Right.
Okay? So any approval we give is going to be still subject to traffic engineering and civil engineering and all that.
I understand.
Okay? I assume you intend to retain all of your stormwater on site?
Yes.
You're not going to be dumping it off site?
No, sir.
Okay?
Mr. Chair.
Hold on, Mr. Ryan, 1 second. Tell us about the existing house there. What are you going to do with that?
There are 3 options for that home. One is to use it strictly for storage. The second option is to remove the home. And then the third option is to remodel it into different facilities for our current K4 through 12th grade students.
Well, are we approving this? Let's see, part of your proposal is for school care for current grades 4 through 12.
K4 through 12.
Okay? Got a lot of parking requirements there for all this. Ms. Brown, you got a question?
Yes, I do. I need better understanding because we're saying up here, request a special exception for a private school to be located at this address. Then when we get down here, it says she's looking at 3 options for the existing structure.
That's right.
How are they connected? Which option is she planning on taking? After school care for current grade level or storage or to remove the house altogether?
Well, that was the question I asked her, and she answered it that way, okay? And so she's got 3 options here, correct? Correct me
Yes,
if I'm wrong. And that's what she's proposing to do,
Well,
okay?
what are we voting on?
Giving her the right to do what she's asked for. Okay.
That does not make sense. She got 3, why do we need to know about the 3 options if we're dealing with a private school to be located?
Well, there's a house on it, and she's trying to ask our approval to give her the right to do it under one of those 3 options, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Which we can, or we may do, or we may not do.
Are they the owner of the house?
Mr. Williams?
Are they the owner of this
Well,
property?
they will be. This property, is this property still owned by the individual?
Yes, it is.
Is
It's
this
under.
Peacock family?
Yes.
Okay,
We do have a contract on it at the moment.
okay,
You got 3 different things on here.
yeah.
I want to know which one am I voting on? Special exception for private
Well,
school
it's-
to be
it's-
located at West Ferry Road.
Well, let me ask you this, Ms. Overman, okay? Because there is some concern about what you potentially want to do with the house,
Thank you.
okay?
Okay.
Would you be opposed to if we approve this overall, but not agreeing to allow you to use the house for anything right now until you decide what you're going to do with it?
Yes,
Will you be okay with that?
Yes.
Okay, you understand that, Ms. Brown?
Oh, I can take that, yes.
Because that way, you're asking, Ms. Brown brings up a good point. What you're asking is a variety of things, okay? And there's a difference in storage and whether or not you're going to use it for grades 4 through 12, you know? And that, there's a big difference.
So I want to make sure I understand. Right now, if it is approved, it would strictly be for the use of storage or to be removed?
No use right now.
Oh, no use at all.
Until you come
Okay.
back and tell us what you want to use it for.
Okay, okay,
Fair enough?
yes.
Okay. Ms. Brown, that should take care of your concern.
Okay, I want to know, I'm voting on a special exception for a private school to be located at 4633 West Ferry Road.
Well, you'll be voting based on the motion that we may make, but what Ms. Overman has said she would do would be to not request any use of the structure now until she knows what she's going to use it for. Correct? Okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Would they need to come back if they decided to demolish the building?
If they decide to what?
To demolish it?
No.
Would not be an issue?
No. No. It's the use of the house. That's what Ms. Brown was concerned about. I'm just trying to clear that at this point, okay? Any other questions, board members? I've tried to bring out some of these points, but the main thing is the petitioner's got to get an approval from traffic engineering about access in and out of this property.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, it says a special exception for a private school. Would the fact that there's no school on the property, the fact that it's only going to be a practice field or a softball field or recreational fields located, would that still be considered a private school?
Well, it's for the use of this property for Alabama Christian College, which is a private school, okay? But I understand your point. We could approve it based upon for use as presented here, but without using the house as a school at this point. Okay?
Okay, so the fact that the house is on the school and they're considering using it for K-4 through 12.
We're going to limit that.
I'm saying in the future would constitute it being considered a private school. Okay.
Yeah.
Now my next question is to Ms. Overman. You said that you have talked to the residents in this area, the ones that live in the homes over to the left of the picture that we're looking at, but you have not spoken with the people who live in the townhouses to the right. Why is that?
Sheer numbers.
The fact that you're going to put recreational fields on this property and they're right behind the homes of these people, you don't consider that to be important to speak with them to find out what their feelings are about it?
I don't know most of the owners of those homes, so it would involve going to meet them certainly to do that. I'm not unwilling to do that, but also the current property as it is fields, and as practice fields, it would stay in field condition. And so I didn't think that they would mind having other fields that are different looking fields, but still fields behind them.
No, my thoughts are on the noise that would be produced by people, practice.
Thank you.
That would be going on out there.
If there were meets going on or if there were actual games going on, I would understand the noise, but because they're practice fields, there are limited number of students, limited number of adults out there, and I think the noise would be quite a bit less.
So you don't think that they would have people coming to watch practice, and those numbers could get, astronomical at times?
It's not been my experience for that to happen.
Okay, I just wanted to know.
Ms. Overman, I think there's some. I'm detecting some issues here with the board, okay, as it relates not only to the concerns Ms. Brown had, and now Ms. Shaw, and of course, it's common for us to have a petitioner have met with adjacent property owners, or at least attempt to do so before you come here, okay? As a matter of courtesy, even though I know there's signs posted on the property, but a lot of people don't read the signs or pay attention to them. And a lot of times, even if they get notices in the mail, they may not pay attention to them, okay? So, with that, I'm going to ask a motion to be made to delay this, for you to come back and resubmit it, and making sure that the issues of the house are dealt with at a later date, okay? The future of the house dealt with at a later date. And then you can come back to the board and say, I've attempted to meet with the neighborhood, or I have met with them, or whatever, to give them the courtesy of having some input. We've got a very comparable, and I won't get into the details, but we've got another private school that has something very comparable to this before. And so we're not asking you to do anything that we haven't done before, okay? And I think you'll find that the neighborhood will be a lot more receptive after you've at least attempted to talk with them, okay? So if I can get a motion to that effect, we'll ask for a delay the next meeting.
So moved.
Have a motion to delay. Have a second?
Second.
Second. Where'd that come from?
Second.
Mr. Williams, seconds. All in favor of a motion to delay till next meeting, please raise your hand. It's unanimous. Thank you. Well, she gonna read this. She don't all that. She's gonna take all that out. Yeah, that's why I'm trying to make sure she was good. Item number 5 is presented by Goodell Mills and Kaywood, representing Montgomery Area Chamber of Commerce Foundation, requesting an exception to smart code for the lot width for 2 proposed lots to be located at the northwest intersection, South Court Street and West South Street in an RT4R smart code zoning district. Hello, Cedric.
Mr. Chairman, Cedric Campbell with Goodell Mills and Kaywood here representing Montgomery Area Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber of Commerce owns all the property bound by Wilson Street, Court Street, South Street, and Sale Street. Several years back, the city rezoned this parcel T4R when Smart Code came about. Smart Code, one of the things about it is it's for smaller lots. This is one big parcel. The chamber would like to parcel it out, and the lots are larger than 150 feet, and that's what requires us to come down, since that is a deviation from the Smart Code, which has 150-foot maximum lot width.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so replatting it into 2 lots.
Yes, sir. There's a total of 3 lots, 2 that we're dealing with that are above the 150-foot maximum that Smart Code allows. The little piece on the, I say the west side that you see parceled out is the cell phone tower.
Right.
And it fits within the 150-foot lot maximum, but the 2 larger lots do not. So we had to come before the Board of Adjustment to ask for permission for those larger lots.
Gotcha. Any question, board members? Anyone in the audience care to address this item? I'll entertain a motion.
So be it.
We have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Reese. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. It's unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cedric. It was unanimous, Paul. Item 6, presented by Nick Milner, representing Jonathan Waters, requesting a rear yard variance for an addition to a dwelling located at 7612 Airleaf Road in an R100 zoning district.
Good afternoon. How are y'all doing tonight?
Good.
Yes, that's what we're asking for. Currently, it is a 30-foot required variance off the back property line to the residence, and we're requesting that that be reduced to 17 feet to accommodate a new structure that we're wanting to add to the lot.
Any water issues?
We do have water issues at the time, but those are being mitigated with sock drains and on-site disposal to get it back out to the road.
Okay. Any question, board members?
You are Mr. Nick Milner.
I am.
Thank you.
Anyone in the audience care to address this item?
Entertain a motion.
I'll entertain a motion.
So moved that we approve as presented.
Have a motion to approve. Have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Reese. All in favor, please raise your hand. It's unanimous. Thank you, Mr. Milner.
Appreciate it.
Good luck. Item 7, presented by James Childs,
Yes, sir.
requesting a rear yard variance for an addition to a dwelling located at 1918 Brookstone Drive in an R85 zoning district. Mr. Childs?
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead.
Yes, I'd like to add another two-car garage on the existing property. It'll be added on right with the same garage that's there. It's just going to be added on another two-car garage. And we've got a storage room on the property now, and it will be coming down as soon as we get approved to do the, the other part of the garage.
Any water issues?
No, sir.
So there's no water you're within 6 feet of your property line. You're taking care of all your water on your property, and it's
Yes.
not encroaching on your neighbor.
No, sir. I don't see what would be. I know we got one.
Do what?
I can't hear it.
Which way does your property slope?
The backyard is the lot's pretty level. The driveway has a little slope down into it that goes to the next door neighbor. I mean, if you wash your car or something, you will have a little water running in their yard. But we don't wash cars there anymore. We do it closer to the road.
Is that a residential lot behind you?
No, there's a house back there, behind me back there.
That must be a deep lot.
There's a big house back there.
Okay. All right. I guess you want to speak, right? I'll give you that opportunity in a moment. Okay. So, Mr. Childs, you're saying there's no water issue?
No, sir.
Is this, you're going to have gutters and downspouts on this?
Well, the whole house doesn't have gutters, so I wanted it to look just like the house.
Does it slope? Does the pitch of the roof slope to the rear, or does it slope to the front?
It slopes at the rear and the sides.
Rear and,
The
so
house
what's
has
it
got a pitch on all
what's
the
it, a hip roof? Is it a hip?
You talking about the roof of the line itself?
Right.
It's all pitched.
Okay. Okay. Well, it must be hip like your house.
Yes, sir. The garage will be just like the house. It's added on to it.
Okay. And so you're going to use this for a strictly, what are you going to use it for?
To keep my car in, I got a car and
Two-car garage?
Yeah, it's going to be
Okay,
another
I'm sorry,
two-car
you may have
garage.
said that. I'm sorry, I missed.
No, I'm just going to use it to put my cars in and my golf cart. I
Okay.
retired and I need to move my car somewhere.
Okay. Any questions, board members, before I call somebody else?
Just one. I've got
Yes,
one.
sir. Steve?
So I must have missed it. So you've already got a two-car garage. You're going to build another two-car
Yeah,
garage.
I want to
So so you'll have garage for 4 vehicles.
4 vehicles.
And you intend to continue to use this for just vehicle?
Yes, vehicles, and I got a
storage.
golf cart I put in there.
Okay, thank you.
Question.
Yes, sir.
Is your roof line on your addition going to be the same as it is on your current garage? You're just going to extend it out?
Yes, sir, it'll be extended out. I've had a construction guy come and look at it, and he's just going to make it extend it out just with the same pitch.
Same pitch? It'll
So
look-
the water will run off. of it.
Okay. That'll look better than not having a pitch?
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions?
They asked mine.
Sir, ma'am?
They asked mine.
Oh, okay. Anyone in the audience care to address this item? Okay.
He said 4 cars, right?
I don't know. All I know is a garage. I don't know how many.
My name is Todd Williams. and-
Todd Williams?
Yes, sir. And I reside in 1905 Windflower Court, which is the big lot that you were talking about directly behind his. All right. Also, I'm here representing the other 2 neighbors, which is 1930 Brookstone, which is the lot to the west side with the pool, And the other neighbor, which is here also, is 1915. I'm 1905, he's 1915 Windflower, and he's the one with the other pool that you see that bottom corner. There's really two issues that we're concerned about because we've been fighting this for years. As you know, that's prairie soil and it doesn't perk. The water is number one. With him, if he's, and the good news that we like is the storage shed is coming out, because right now the storage shed is really impending as a eyesore on Mr. Hicks's at 915. So if he's taking that out, that's the good part. The most thing that I think we're concerned about, there's two issues. The first thing is the water. If he's going to add 2 more car garage, that's going to bring the pitch of that roof toward the 1915 or 1930 Brookstone, which is the pool to the west side of his property. So that's going to bring it closer to that fence line. Now the problem that we're having now is we've got water from the pool on the west side. The water comes off his property and runs down to the 2 adjoining properties on the south side of Mr. Childs that we're fighting now. So what we don't want is additional water coming off his roof line onto the 1930 Brookstone, and because therefore that water will run down to Mr. Hicks's, which is the other pool at 1915, and me and Mr. Hicks, our water's joined together at our fence line, which I'm 1905, and right now, as soon as it dries out, we already have plans on putting in a 4-inch French drain system to relieve the problem that we got now. So if we're going to put in a French drain system to try to get the water off the 1930 Brookstone and the 1950 Windflower and 1905, which is my lot, we either ask him to either do the same or put in a gutter system on his roof and in some way redirect that water to the front of his property instead of to the back, because we're already fighting water. Now, I'm a contractor, and I'm going to work with my other 2 neighbors, and we're all going to join our French drains together to run to the front side of our property on Windflower Court. So we just don't need any more water. And that's what we want to be sure. I mean, we don't want to, we're not disputing his garage or anything. We just want to make sure we're not going to get any more water from.
I understand. That's why I asked the question to start with.
That's it.
Okay.
And the only other.
You're saying he's going to exasperate the water issue, okay?
Yes.
We understand clearly. We deal with this every month with water, okay? And so whenever anybody wants to go beyond the limits of the setback, that's one of the first things we ask, okay? So Mr. Childs, you got a suggestion, or do we delay it till you guys work it out? Because we'll either approve it or deny it. We're not going to solve it, okay? So I would suggest that you and your neighbors work out a plan and come back next time with your solution.
May I ask a question?
In just a moment. I ask him a question
Well,
first.
I don't know how I could put a French drain to the road because his fence is almost on my driveway now.
Well, we can't solve it.
Well, I know that, but I'm just saying, you know.
So we can either approve your setback or deny it, or y'all try to work out something, okay? That's the policy. Ms. Brown, you got a question?
He keeps saying we. Where are the we?
Ma'am?
Who?
The we.
Is the other property owners?
Yeah, the other property
They got
owners.
3 or 4 other property owners that are joining.
May I see them?
Well, they're right there. He pointed them out a while ago. But-
Mr. Stanley, stop answering for me.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm asking you a question, but you got, these are your other neighbors, correct?
Correct.
1930, 1950.
1915.
1915.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I believe the other issue that we had was a privacy issue, because in the
I'm
summertime.
sorry, what? What'd you say? What other kind of issues?
A privacy issue.
Oh, privacy, okay.
Because in the summertime in 1930, Brookstone, which is the property with the pool to the west side, they have football parties a lot, and they always have their children and their family over at the pool. So right now, we only have, it's either a 6-foot or an 8-foot tall privacy fence surrounding the property. So their concern is they don't want a basketball game going on or
Well,
something.
we're not dealing with privacy issues here.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
You don't want to go there.
Okay.
We're dealing with setback.
Okay.
Okay? And we're trying to help you and him get what you both are here for.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Fair enough.
And so y'all are a part.
Right.
So we can either approve it or deny it, and you guys can choose to try to work together.
I think we can figure this out. So, I mean, because we had already had plans of putting in a French drain, so.
I understand. I understand.
We can get this together and work it out.
May I say
I'm
something?
going to recommend a motion. Ms. Brown, you want to make a motion to delay?
I want to say something first.
Delay it. Oh, she has a question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well,
Okay.
I don't really have a question. I wanted to speak to Mr. Childs. Since your other neighbors have decided that they're going to put in a French drain to alleviate the water problem that they already have, would you, if we don't delay and we approve this, this request, would you be willing to put a French drain on your property and carry the water to the front of your property, not to the back?
Well, I don't think I would if I could, but I don't know if I'll be able to with the driveway.
But he's a contractor.
I mean, with
He
that
would
driveway
probably
on-
be the best person to be able to help you out with that.
How would I do it with the fence on the driveway?
Well, what we were going to do was take a French drain on the pool to the west side and run it down parallel to your property, come across to Mr. Hicks' property. And I'm going to bring my.
Wait a minute. We're not here to get into those details, okay?
I think we have a plan
Yeah, if
that we could do this together.
We'll let y'all work that out.
Okay. I will do
We're
it if I
not here to
build a building.
resolve that. What I would say is, I move that we move this to the next meeting.
Have a motion to delay, have a second.
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 Second, Mr. Williams. Okay? Any further discussion? All in favor for delaying it while y'all work it out, okay? And come back with a solution. All in favor, raise your hand. It's unanimous.
Okay. Yes, we can do that.
Just get with me, Colin. I have.
Thank you. Thank you. Item number 8, presented by Mr. Barrett Penny. Hey, Barrett. Representing Dr. Brian Richardson, requesting a side yard variance for an addition to a dwelling located at 728 Felder Avenue in R60M zoning district.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm Barrett Penny. I'm an architect. Tonight I'm representing.
Would you tell me what is AIA?
That's an architect.
That mean architect?
American
Yes, ma'am.
Institute of Architects.
I am representing the new owners of 728 Felder tonight that are here, Dr. Brian Richardson and Marcella Richardson. I've had the pleasure of working with them to plan for renovations to this home. Part of our renovations include a portico attached to the east side of the home. We're here tonight to ask for a variance to build within 2 feet of the property line on that side. Currently, this is zone 60 RM, and there's a 10-foot setback on this side. Our plan is to install a double portico for 2 vehicles. We would collect roof water and downspouts and keep it on this property. I would also mention that the owners have discussed these plans with the neighbors located on this east side.
Okay. Well, Barrett, I think the main thing is you are going to deal with water on site and not have to worry about it spilling onto someone else, because you're only 2 foot off that property line.
Yes, sir. That's
Doesn't give you
right.
much room, but I know you can handle it. You're satisfied with that?
I am.
Is that a pitched roof? Is that water spill off on that
It's a
side?
flat roof.
Okay.
This is a flat roof portico. The building is a Greek Revival. The home has a flat roof on it as well. So we have maintained the character of that architecture and have a flat roof with a dental molding soffit. We will either collect the roof water in a roof drain or in downspouts. And that will be the challenge to figure out how to do that. But we will not let it leave the property. We understand that will be required.
Okay. Very good. Any questions, board members?
I didn't see a problem here until a motion.
Any other questions? Does anyone in the audience care to address this item? I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we grant this request for this 8-foot variance.
Second.
Have a motion from Mr. Reese and a second from Ms. Brown. Any further discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Thank you, Barrett.
Thank you.
Good to see you again.
Sir, you too, John. Thank you.
How you doing, Dr. Chris? Item 9, presented by Jeff Cook, representing Charter Communications, requesting an exception to Smart Code to expand a communications facility located at 523 Pleasant Avenue in a T4R Smart Code zoning district.
Yes. We want to add a 12 by 28 building expansion on the rear of the existing building to allow for the facility to grow. And we also need to replace an aged generator there that no longer supports the facility.
Okay. So basically, the variance request is just to expand that facility. Is that expansion going to happen on the rear back side or the front side? I'm not sure I see.
It's on the back side of the building.
Back side.
The only thing you'll see is about an 8-foot section
Oh,
with
the
a
back
door.
side, okay.
Okay. That property is fenced, is that correct?
It is, yes, sir.
Okay, already fenced. So you're not going to change that? You're not going to change points of access? You're just adding this?
Yes, sir. There's no
Extra.
changes will be made to the property.
Gotcha. Okay. Any question, board members? Anyone in the audience care to address this item? I'll entertain a motion.
So be it.
Have a motion to approve. Have a second?
Second.
Second. Who'd it come from? Mr. Howell. All in favor, raise your hand. Very good. Thank you. That was unanimous, I believe, wasn't it, Ms. Shaw?
Yes.
Yes,
Unanimous second.
All right. I have a motion to approve the minutes.
You're good.
I have a motion to approve. Have a second. Second. Have a motion to adjourn.